If you think all olive oil is created equal, think again. The quality of your olive oil varies greatly. The olive oil from your local grocery store might actually do more harm than good for your body. Good olive oil can really help you lose fat, improve heart health, soothe muscles and joints, soften and hydrate skin, plus boost your immune system.
If you think all olive oil is the same, think again. It turns out there's one big difference between an olive oil that's considered healthy and one that isn't. And in some cases, those lower quality oils could even be doing more harm than good. Why? Because no matter how much you paid for it, a low-quality olive oil can actually stall your health goals, while a high-quality olive oil is considered the ultimate health tool. The right olive oil can support your heart health, soothe achy muscles and joints, soften and hydrate your skin, give your immune system a boost, and even help you lose unwanted weight. So today I'm going to show you the 3 things you must avoid in any olive oil. I call them the olive oil omens because they're a surefire sign your olive oil is no good. Because the quality of your olive oil has nothing to do with the cost, nothing to do with the best buy date, and nothing to do with the country of origin. I'll also reveal to you exactly what kind of olive oil you need to help you slim down, transform your energy, and protect your youthful vitality, no matter how old you are. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry. I'm a best-selling author with years of experience in diet, nutrition, and human health. I've appeared on Dr. Oz, in People magazine, and have treated patients like self-help guru Tony Robbins and Grammy Award-winning R&B singer Usher. Even Kelly Clarkson has mentioned how much my diet theory has helped her. I'm also a world-renowned cardiothoracic surgeon, but for the last 20 years I've had my own practices in wellness, the International Heart and Lung Institute and Centers for Restorative Medicine in Santa Barbara and Palm Springs, California. But one of the things that makes me qualified to talk to you about health transformations and weight loss is my own. You see, even though I was a doctor, a surgeon, familiar with the ways the human body worked, I was 70 pounds overweight. And this was despite doing all the things I was supposed to do, or so I thought. I spent hours in the gym. I kept a very strict diet. I even ran multiple times a week. I ran half marathons, for goodness sake. Yet, I still had this unwanted weight I couldn't shake. If that sounds at all familiar to you, I want you to know it's not your fault. In fact, the culprit is most likely one particular thing that's missing from your diet. I'm not talking about cutting out carbs or adding exercise to your routine. Although doing those things will almost certainly accelerate your results, they're not the whole picture. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you a simple way you can use good olive oil to start slimming down, increasing your energy levels, alleviating pressure on your joints, and taking care of your heart, skin, mind, and more. So, grab a pen and paper and feel free to take notes, because what I'm about to share with you may challenge everything you've heard about olive oil and healthy diets. Now, chances are you've heard of one healthy diet in particular that's supposed to be a real miracle for your health. The Mediterranean diet. It's one of the most recommended diets out there to help you extend your life, supercharge your energy, ease your joints, and more. Sounds pretty great, right? The thing is, there's something they're not telling you about the Mediterranean diet. It's full of harmful, dangerous toxins. Take a minute to let that sink in. One of the healthiest diets in the world is loaded with toxins. They're called lectins, and they're known to infiltrate your gut lining, letting bacteria, undigested food, and other waste seep out into your bloodstream. They cause all sorts of digestive troubles, joint pain, unwanted weight gain, and illness. Lectins are prevalent in plenty of foods on the Mediterranean diet. Foods you may even be eating every day, like whole grains, pasta, tomato, breads, and legumes. So, how could it be that a diet loaded in toxic lectins can still help people lose weight, live longer, and feel better? The answer is it's got nothing to do with the actual foods they're eating. It's what their food is covered in. I'm talking about extra virgin olive oil. I believe organic extra virgin olive oil may be the healthiest food on the planet. The trick is, you've got to find the right one to get the most benefits. Now, a really good olive oil is full of one specific thing that can give you more energy, stronger muscles, and a healthy heart. And it only takes a little bit to give you maximum effects. Of course, people in the Mediterranean drench everything they eat in olive oil, and this is exactly why their diet is so effective, despite all the lectins. Olive oil is the main source of fat in the Mediterranean diet, and it contains a super polyphenol called hydroxytyrosol, or as I like to call it, the fat fighter, because scientists believe it could be the secret ingredient to a healthy lifestyle, an energetic and youthful body, and of course, a healthy weight. But I've got one word of caution. Not all olives and not all olive oils are created equal. It's just like a fine wine. The type of grape, how and where it's grown, and how it's processed all contribute to how good the wine is. And if you're a wine lover, you know when you get a good glass and when you get a bad one. Well, it's the same with olives and olive oils. The only difference is that you may not realize when you've got a bad one, because most of the olive oils available at your local grocery store are actually not great. It's all a bunch of tricks from big food manufacturers. So even if you're paying upwards of $30 for extra virgin olive oil bottled in Italy, what you're getting might be the same as the $4 stuff they sell at a bargain. That's why there are a few things I insist you look for the next time you plan to use olive oil for anything. Which brings me to the first thing you should absolutely avoid in an olive oil. Olive oil omen number 1. If your olive oil label only has a best by date on its label, toss it out. Here's why. Most olive oils stay best up to 2 years past the date they were produced. However, you're not likely to find a production date on the label of your olive oil. Many manufacturers skip this information altogether. They say the olive oil is best by a certain date. But if you don't know when it was produced, there's no way to verify it's within that 2-year window. Which means you've got no way of really knowing if your olive oil is out of date or not. In some cases, bottles of olive oil have been collecting dust on grocery store shelves for months or years, and you'd never know it if all you have to go by is a best by date. In fact, this is shocking. Many Americans don't even know if they're eating rancid olive oil, yet many of us are. One scientist actually called the U.S. the world's dumping ground for rancid and defective olive oil. Now, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to eat anything that's gone rancid, because when olive oil goes rancid, it develops free radicals that attack your system, leaving you vulnerable to sickness, premature aging, and weight gain. On the other hand, if your label contains the date the olives were picked or processed, you can instantly know it'll be good for about 2 years from that date. Otherwise, you're completely in the dark. So, be sure to look for a harvested on or produced on date instead. And after your olive oil is open, you should try to finish it off in about 6 months or less. Even better if it only takes you 2 or 3 months to finish your bottle. That'll ensure optimal freshness and help protect you against consuming rancid or spoiled olive oil. So, if olive oil is the ultimate health tool, but many olive oils are less than good, how do you know if your olive oil can help you slim down? Well, there's one type of olive that ensures you get the maximum dose of the fat fighter, and I'm going to tell you where to find it. I'll also share exactly what happens when you add this to your meals, no matter what your current diet looks like. You see, research shows this fatty super polyphenol can help keep you powered up and energized, support a healthy heart and blood vessels, support healthy blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol, soothe worn-down joints and overworked muscles, keep your skin feeling soft and hydrated. Pretty incredible, right? Well, the benefits don't stop there. The fat fighter is one of the only polyphenols that can cross the blood-brain barrier, which means it gets absorbed quickly and works fast to help destroy free radicals that cause aging and illness, support a sharp, focused brain right now, keep your brain working at peak performance for years to come, and it also distributes the benefits throughout your entire body, from your brain to your muscles, liver, heart, kidneys, and lungs. And because this nutrient is delivered in a fat, it means it also helps fill you up faster. Plus, studies show eating diets that include fat can actually help you lose more weight and keep it off after you do. Plus, the fat fighter is exceptionally powerful because it can actually help your body reduce the number of fat-storing genes it has, meaning even if your body wanted to, it couldn't hang on to fat cells. If that sounds like a dream, keep listening, because the fat fighter is a true power hitter when it comes to all aspects of your health. Now, like I mentioned, this incredible compound is found in olives. And I've been saying for years, the purpose of food is to get olive oil into your mouth, just like they do in the Mediterranean. Of course, the Mediterranean has the reputation of having the best olive oil out there. But here's something that may shock you. You probably shouldn't buy it in the grocery store. Why? Well, that all boils down to olive oil omen number 2, bottled in Italy. Sounds pretty promising, right? Well, if you think you're getting pure Italian olive oil, you've got another thing coming to you. Let me explain. When a label says bottled in or produced in, they don't mean grown in. So, that fancy Italian olive oil you paid extra for could have been sourced from all over the world. What's more, if your olive oil was sourced from all over the globe and only bottled in Italy, you again have one less way of knowing how pure, effective, or good your olive oil is. So, anytime you see a label that says bottled or produced in Italy, flip it over and check the back of the label. It must disclose the country of origin. And if your olive oil was bottled in one country but grown somewhere else, there's one final omen you have to look out for. And that's olive oil omen number 3. The country of origin still might not be the whole story. So listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. As I mentioned, the back of the label must disclose the country of origin. If more than one country is listed, this oil is no good, no matter how expensive the bottle is, because those olives could have come from all different farms across all different countries. They've likely been picked at different dates, in different harvests, and they're probably even different types of olives, which all have different flavors and varying polyphenol counts, which means your final product could be seriously out of date with a compromised flavor and a lower polyphenol count. Pair that with a bottle that only has a best buy date, and you're looking at a dud, no matter how expensive the sticker price is. But the thing is, even if there's only one country of origin listed, you want to find an olive oil that is sourced from one single farm. That way, you know for sure you're getting one type of olive pulled from one harvest with the fullest polyphenol count possible. Now, when you avoid the 3 olive oil omens, you'll be sure you're getting the best quality olive oil you can. And as a cardiothoracic surgeon, I believe that organic, extra virgin olive oil may be the healthiest food on the planet. In fact, I always advise my patients to get at least a liter of olive oil a week as salad dressing, on fish, heck, even drinking it straight. Now, I know how hard it is to get that much olive oil into your system, but in order to slim down, support your heart, supercharge your energy, soothe your joints, and make your skin glow, a liter of olive oil a week is more than worth it. But I've got to be honest, even I struggle to get enough every week. In fact, between the two of us, my wife Penny and I only go through about 1.5 liters a week. So most of the time, even I'm not getting as much as I recommend. Now, that just wasn't okay with me. How could I recommend my patients do something that I couldn't even do myself? Well, I knew there had to be an easier way. I realized increasing the amount of olive oil my patients and I could get in a week wasn't the answer. The answer was an oil that was more powerful, so you could get all the benefits without needing 1 liter a week, and that meant maximizing the amount of the fat fighter in the oil. So I hit the books and started researching for myself where I could find olive oil that was rich in this powerful polyphenol. I knew it wouldn't be on the shelves of my local grocer because I'd already tried those, from the most expensive to the least. None of them measured up with a big enough dose of the fat fighter hydroxytyrosol. I've searched the globe looking for the most nutrient-rich olive oil I could find. And it might surprise you, as it did me, to learn that the most polyphenol-enriched olive oil doesn't come from Greece, doesn't come from Spain, it doesn't come from Italy, not even from California, where I'm from. First, I headed to the Mediterranean. I began my search for a potent Italian olive oil that was not only natural. After all, you probably know they've got a reputation as the best. But what I discovered really surprised me. As it turns out, many Italian olive trees are growing fruits with only base amounts of the fat fighter. Thanks to their growing conditions in comfortable environments, their polyphenol production is good, but not great. I also checked out olive oils from Greece and Spain, two other Mediterranean countries known for high-quality olive oils. But it was the same story. There was only a little hydroxytyrosol, the fat fighter, in each oil I could get my hands on. I knew it wasn't good enough. At this point, I was feeling pretty disheartened. If these famous olive oil hotspots didn't have an oil powerful enough to support my patients and I, where else could I turn? As it turns out, the answer was pretty unlikely, because there was an unlikely Mediterranean country I hadn't looked at. The only catch was you'd never imagine that olives could even grow there, never mind flourish, because the olive trees there only live in harsh desert conditions. There's barely any rain, it's really hot, and the soil has hardly any nutrients. Honestly, the conditions are so brutal, the olive trees think they're dying. It sounds bad, but this is actually the best thing that could happen to the trees, because they buck up and go into survival mode. The trees produce massive amounts of polyphenols, including hydroxytyrosol, to literally save their lives. You see, these polyphenols protect the trees from their harsh environment, allowing them to flourish despite the dire growing conditions. In the process, they produce olives that are absolutely jam-packed with polyphenols. So, any guesses where I found the world's most potent olive oil? It wasn't Europe. It was Africa. It is here, in the fabled land of Morocco, that I found what I believe to be the healthiest, most polyphenol-packed olive oil on the planet. And when I came across these incredible trees from Morocco, the ones that are forced into survival mode, I knew I'd found the answer. The fruit of these olive trees here in El Barouj have what I consider to be health superpowers. For the extra olive oil that these olives produce contain massive amounts of nutrients. In fact, they contain 30 times more polyphenols than any other olive oil you could find. Polyphenols, as you know, are phytochemicals produced by plants in response to having to survive stressful conditions. And the conditions here in this rocky desert between Casablanca and Marrakesh are extremely stressful. For one, the temperatures here in the summer are scorching, with temperatures routinely getting above 120 degrees. And second, look at the ground that these plants have to grow in. The soil is dry and the ground is rocky. And that means these plants have to send their roots deep into the ground in search of nutrients and water. And that's actually what makes them vigorous and strong. Then there's the challenge of getting enough water here in the desert. It rarely rains in this part of Morocco, so the olive trees have had to develop strategies to protect themselves against drought. And that means, of course, they make more polyphenols. The olive trees growing in the Moroccan desert had incredibly elevated levels of the fat fighter. In fact, these olives are one of the most potent sources of hydroxytyrosol on Earth. They have so much of this nutrient, you wouldn't need to drink a liter of olive oil a week. You could get the same benefits in a fraction of the oil. This whole time, the trees had been doing all the hard work for us. Our team immediately went to work cultivating these olives, processing and bottling them into delicious olive oil. An olive oil that's revolutionary and unlike anything you'll see on your supermarket stores. I proudly call it Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil. A revolutionary new way to get your intake of olive oil. Robust, delicious, and amazingly potent. So the job of protecting your health falls to tough-working trees like these. Trees that have developed superpowers in order to survive. Superpowers that are transferred to you each time you give your body the life-enhancing, health-promoting liquid gold that is Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil. To put it in perspective, because Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil has 30 times the hydroxytyrosol as conventional olive oil, it's like getting the benefits of drinking an entire liter of olive oil in just over 2 tablespoons. I recommend you take about a half a tablespoon a day. That'll ensure you're getting your entire liter a week's worth of supercharged polyphenols in just 4 days instead of an entire week. And if you want to have more than a half a tablespoon, be my guest. You can never get too many polyphenols. Now, you can get your half tablespoon a day any way you like. Some of my clients like drizzling it onto their favorite foods as a delicious food topper. If you ask me, it's phenomenal on salads and fish. But you can add it to any meal, to enjoy a fat-busting boost. I take Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil almost like a daily vitamin or supplement. Each day, I pour myself a shot, about a tablespoonful, so that I know I'm doing the best for my health. In fact, adding Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil to your daily diet is an easy way for you to enjoy great blood flow and healthy arteries, laser focus and crystal clear concentration, comfortable joints and rejuvenated muscles, softer, hydrated skin, a well-supported immune system, a slimmer waistline. I love that it takes the pressure off trying to get enough olive oil every single week. In just a half a tablespoon a day, you're meeting that weekly quota and then some. Now, this is different than your typical olive oil, and you'll notice that when you taste it. It's slightly bitter, peppery, and green, the hallmarks of a potent olive oil. In my opinion, it's the best tasting olive oil I've ever had. I love the bite it's got. But you really can't compare run-of-the-mill grocery store oil to polyphenol-rich olive oil. That's like comparing grape juice to wine. When you taste it, you'll know the difference. By now, you may be wondering how you can get your hands on this super potent olive oil. It won't be on the shelves of your local grocer because these olives grow in such specific conditions in only one place in the whole world, the deserts of Morocco. Each batch of Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil is incredibly small. Not only that, we refuse to cut any corners, especially when it comes to your health. Every batch of polyphenol-rich olive oil is immediately cold-pressed in our state-of-the-art facility right in the olive groves to preserve as much of the fat fighter hydroxytyrosol as possible. So I'm all about preserving polyphenols. So one of the beautiful things about Gundry MD olive oil is the olives are picked and then are rushed right here next to the farm in 20 minutes. And then tell me what happens.
Absolutely, Dr. Gundry. The olives arrive and they are picked without touching the soil. All the extraction is done at a very low temperature. This is what we call first cold press, never over 26 degrees Celsius. And secondly, when the oil is extracted and we put it in stainless steel tanks, and it's the best way to conserve olive oil in the world. That means with air conditioning and also no windows, so no light, no UV rays to attack the olive oil. And we inject nitrogen to chase out the oxygen that could oxidize the olive oil.
You see, when you introduce elements like heat, light, or air to olive oil, the quality is almost instantly degraded. So we make sure to cold press our olives so heat can't attack the polyphenol content.
Even the bottles are designed to protect the polyphenols.
We make sure to bottle our polyphenol-rich olive oil in dark glass bottles so the light can't break down the fat fighter content. And we do it all at the source. Unlike oils pressed in other countries and sent to Italy to get that coveted bottled in Italy label, polyphenol-rich olive oil is pressed just moments away from the trees where the extraordinary olives are grown. All of these steps take incredible effort and expense. But they also mean that we can get you the best quality olive oil, one that's 30 times more powerful than normal olive oil. Simply put, we don't take shortcuts. After all, this is your health we're talking about. As you can imagine, these small batches and production practices do mean that polyphenol-rich olive oil is more expensive to produce than most conventional olive oils. However, I've got a great relationship with Orthmain, whose family has owned this olive grove for centuries. And for the time, we've decided not to sell this olive oil in stores. This allows us to cut out the middleman. So you can avoid pushy salespeople at specialty stores and the grocery store markup so many lower quality olive oils have. Instead, we're offering Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil straight to you. It retails for $49.95. But because you've stuck through this entire presentation, I know you're serious about finding a powerful, delicious olive oil that supports your health from multiple angles. So I want to give you a special one-time offer so you can try this olive oil for yourself and experience the difference it can make in your health and your waistline. That's why today you can secure your supply of Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil for just $39.95 a bottle. But I can only offer you this discount for a limited time. Because the olive oil batches we produce are so small, Once word gets out about this next batch, I fully expect it'll sell out in a matter of days. In fact, the first batch we produced, thousands of people bought us out in about 2 days. Best of all, your purchase is covered by my 90-day ironclad guarantee. If you don't feel like your mind is sharp as ever, if you don't notice your skin feels soft and smooth, if you don't feel like your joints are calm and protected, and if you're not feeling and looking slimmer than ever, you can send it back for a full refund. But I believe once you experience the incredible health-boosting power of Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil, you won't want to be without it. So, click the button below to take the next step and claim your special first-time customer offer before our next batch runs out and before this offer expires. If you see the order page when you click the button below, you'll know we still have stock left. The order page will show you all the options available to you, including the most popular 3-bottle multi-pack, as well as the 6-bottle pack, which is the best value. What you choose is up to you. But time is of the essence because I can't guarantee how much stock we'll have by the time you finish this presentation. And when you order, you can be completely confident in your purchase because our order page is secured with exceptional safety technology. So you can always trust that your order is 100% safe and secure. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope you've learned a lot, and I hope you're ready to see just what the Fat Fighter and polyphenol-rich olive oil can do for you.
To your health, I'm Dr. Gundry in Morocco, always looking out for you.
Hey there! If you're still here, it's probably because you've got a few questions. So allow me to answer a few of the most common ones people ask me. Will regular olive oil give me the same benefits? In a word, no. Like we've talked about, most conventional olive oils are not very good in general. The longer they've been sitting around, the more air or light they've been exposed to, and the more heat they've been under, the less potent and less healthful your olive oil becomes. Now, if you get a high-grade, fresh, cold-pressed oil, you'll have a better shot at getting these nutrients, including some hydroxytyrosol. However, even the nicest olive oil at a specialty store doesn't come close to polyphenol-rich olive oil. And that's why I recommend you still keep using your normal olive oil to cook with, as long as it's cold-pressed and not more than 1.5 years old. And of course, make sure you get at least a 1/2 tablespoon of polyphenol-rich olive oil each day. Can I put it on all foods? I'm happy to say the answer to this one is yes. You can use Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil as a food topper on whatever you like to eat. I recommend it on salads, fish, or steak, but it's also great on snacks like sweet potato fries. Heck, even your burgers can get an upgrade. Try it on your favorite foods, whatever they are, to enjoy a health boost every day. Can I use polyphenol-rich olive oil in my cooking? You could, but I don't recommend it. Here's why. I like to think of polyphenol-rich olive oil as a health-boosting supplement instead of a conventional cooking oil. Because this high-quality olive oil has 30 times as many polyphenols as conventional olive oil, you're getting a giant dose of health-boosting benefits. So I suggest you save your normal olive oil for cooking and save polyphenol-rich olive oil, the good stuff, for supplementing your healthy lifestyle. How much should I use every day? Polyphenol-rich olive oil is so powerful, you can get all the benefits of a liter of conventional olive oil in just over 2 tablespoons. So I recommend taking about a 1/2 tablespoon a day. This will ensure you get your liter's worth of olive oil health benefits in about 4 days instead of a week. You can put it right on top of your food or drink it straight up. That's what I like to do. And if you want to treat yourself and take a tablespoon or more a day, I have no problem with that. Why is the Fat Fighter an olive oil instead of a pill or capsule? Well, in this case, a pour is better than a pill. You see, cold pressing the hydroxytyrosol-rich olives is the most effective way to preserve their potency. If we had to heat extract that in a lab, it'd be nowhere near as powerful. In order to make olive oil that's 30 times more powerful than conventional olive oil, this was the best way, even if it wasn't the easiest. Am I going to like the taste? Chances are you're going to like the way Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil tastes. But I'll admit, even for an olive oil aficionado like me, it did take a little getting used to. Here's why. It definitely tastes different from conventional olive oil, and that's for a very good reason. You see, most olive oil sold in the U.S. is old, out of date, and not very healthy. The mark of a healthy, powerful olive oil is that it tastes a little bitter, a little green, maybe peppery, and it might cause a little tickle at the back of your throat. So, when you notice those things, you'll know you're getting the real deal. Sure, it's probably different than what you're used to, but I think you'll really like what you taste when you try this olive oil. What if I don't like it? While I'm confident Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil will work wonders for nearly everyone who tries it, as a doctor, I know everyone's body is different. So, if you give this a try and don't love the way you feel, if you don't feel slimmer, more energetic, like your body is fully supported from every angle, or for any reason at all, simply call my US-based customer service center so our agents can issue you a refund. I'm serious. That's how confident I am you'll love the changes you start to see and feel for yourself. So, click the button below to visit our secure order page before this offer expires. Thanks again for listening and learning about the Fat Fighter and polyphenol-rich olive oil. I can't wait to hear about everything it does for you.
I take Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil much like I would take a daily vitamin or supplement. Each day, I pour myself a shot, about a tablespoonful, so that I know I'm doing the best for my health. And, Orthman, here's to your health. Orthman, as Humphrey Bogart would say in Casablanca, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I'm Dr. Gundry from Morocco, always looking out for you.